All right, before we get started, we've been going since I told y'all to report back. So we've been in here for the last 30 minutes doing stuff. Need to talk to y'all about, so we have to be very careful about where y'all, I know some of y'all wanted to wander apparently. And I gave certain parameters about where y'all need to be. And that's specifically because we have cameras out front. So I don't want y'all wandering. If there's an area y'all would like to go to, if y'all want to go walk through the cemetery behind the art center, that's fine, but I probably need to have someone go with you. So that's why I kind of designated the paver path where the benches and the sculpture thing is. So anyway, if y'all have other suggestions, write them out for me and I'll talk to y'all about that after talking with security about it. But there's a camera crew out front, so I don't want y'all to really get too close to that, because then they'll say, oh, there's a large group of people being escorted by a deputy. I wonder who they are. Okay? All right, go ahead.
I remind you, you are still under oath.
Yes, sir.
One follow-up on the issue of the debit card. I'm showing you a message between your mother and your father, and it says, who has the debit card? Correct?
Yes.
Right. And is that from your dad to your mom?
It appears so, yes.
Okay. And then your mom responds back, Scott, why? Correct?
Yes.
Right. And then your dad says, and this is on 5/22/2018, because he's spending a lot. And then your mother asks, own, and then 2 fuel charges of $50 each plus other things. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't remember it because it wasn't on my phone.
Okay. Did your dad, did he ever confront you verbally about that?
No, I do not ever remember a conversation of that.
All right. And, Your Honor, that was defense Scott 92. And also for a housekeeping matter, we're going to move to admit Scott 94, which was the 6 months of phone records that I referred to earlier.
All right, no attention. All right, there it is.
I want to turn now, and Judge, would you mind switching back over to the computer? Thank you.
I do mind. I wish I had a way for you to do it down there. And every time you ask me to, I make prefer to that, and then maybe someone will watch TV and fix.
Judge, I'm going to stay out of the way of you and the county commissioners.
Have a big ones.
So, I'm showing you what has been previously marked as Thrasher 229. And do you remember this picture, this location?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right. Tell me about this location.
This was down in the basement, kind of right out in front of the bar area, TV hanging up on the wall, just a lounging area.
Lounging area. And in fact, this is an area, there was a TV right there.
Yes, sir.
This is the area where you said you'd come eat your dinner.
I would eat dinner and sometimes lunch there.
Sometimes, but this was kind of like maybe the place you would hang out in the house, yes?
Yes, when I came over to eat, typically I would go down there to watch TV and eat dinner.
Why down there and why not upstairs at the kitchen bar?
Because I like watching TV when I eat.
Okay. But your dad, he would sit at the kitchen bar and read books, correct?
Yes.
So where would your mom eat?
I really Don't know, probably in her bedroom, because a lot of times she wasn't there to eat. If any time I was over there to eat, it was me who fixed dinner for my dad or get us food, and he would eat at the bar and read his book, and I'll go downstairs and eat and watch TV.
But speaking of eating, you guys, y'all go to Cherokee Ranch a lot.
Yes, sir.
And that's not there anymore, right?
No, it's not.
I remember it was up on 20, right? As you're
Yes.
heading out towards Cumming?
Yes.
Okay. And it was there for many years. It was a buffet style
Cafeteria style, yes.
cafeteria. Once upon a time, they had some pretty good crab legs there. Do you ever remember that?
Don't ever remember crab legs.
Might have been before you moved to Cherokee. But anyway, y'all, how often would you and your mother go to Cherokee Ranch?
Quite often. A lot.
Best guess. Times a week.
Minimum 3-4 times a week.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
And your dad, but he would go separately?
On the weekends, we would go and eat lunch there. When he was home, or if he stayed home from the office, we would go there. Almost every Friday, every Friday night, my dad and I would go there and have catfish.
Catfish on Friday nights.
Yes.
That was you and Dad.
Yes.
But otherwise, the majority, you would go with your mother about 3 times a week.
Yes, for lunchtime, yes.
Lunch, not dinner?
No.
Right. Just always, just kind of regimented, you're going to lunch.
Yeah, because it was so close, and it was always a different menu every day.
All right, so back to the house where you'd eat. You would eat right here on this couch.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, going to, and that the exhibit has already been admitted, I believe. I'm going to go to the state's exhibits. This is a conversation with you and your father about the DirecTV guy coming, and that was in early June of 2018, yes?
Yes.
Right. And the appointment appeared to be scheduled, and I believe it was the 12th of June?
I believe it was.
It was
I think
the
I saw
6th.
her early
It
at
was
the 6th.
It was the 6th. So you say you were there, and that is when, going back to the Thrasher photo, you say you saw a firearm in this drawer right here.
Yes, sir.
Where the marker is?
Yes, sir. The
That
top
drawer.
drawer of that piece of furniture.
And the gun you saw was a, let me see if I'm, you tell me. Say it, tell me one more time. What kind of gun was it?
It appeared to me to be a 38 snub nose. It was
Okay.
in a leather holster.
So snub nose means
It wasn't a long barrel.
wasn't a long barrel. And it was in a what kind of holster?
A leather holster. An old looking leather holster.
All right. And what did the handle of the gun look like?
That I do not remember.
All right. So did the gun look like this?
No, not like that. It was similar of the actual material of the gun, the nickel looking chrome, but it wasn't rusted like that is.
But- Okay. So it was a newer looking gun.
Yes.
And the handle, was it a dark handle like this?
I presume so, but I don't remember the color of the handle.
Okay. Did you pull it out of the case?
No, I did not.
Did you pick up the case at all?
No, I didn't pick up the gun entirely. I just kind of barely lifted up, and that was all. I never pulled it out because I had the guy in the room with me, and I didn't want to scare him.
Did the gun look like this gun?
No, because that's a what is called a blue finish.
How about this gun?
It looked very similar to that right there.
That gun right there? Are you aware that your brother's ex-wife saw a gun in the basement, allegedly, as well, roughly around that time?
No, I did not.
All right. And are you aware that she identified a gun to this jury yesterday that looked like this in the basement?
Okay.
But not in the drawer where you said, in this drawer. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Now, but you saw a snub-nosed gun.
Yes, I did.
Right. And you said you didn't pull it out of the holster, correct? That's what you just said.
Yes.
Right. So how can you tell that it was a snub-nosed gun if you did not pull it out of the holster?
Because it wasn't a type of holster that covered up the barrel tip, and you could see it was wrapped around the gun, but the bottom section of the gun you could see just a little bit. So it was a clear indication it wasn't a long barreled gun like the other picture you showed me. It would, to my knowledge, it was definitely a snub nose type looking one.
And you never pulled it out, which, I mean, you're trained with guns, obviously, from being in the military. So you know that you have to act like every firearm is loaded. So you just opened the drawer, picked it up. Did you check to see if the gun was loaded at all, making sure to not point it towards anybody or anything?
Like I said, I never picked it up. And no, I did not check to see if it was loaded because I never picked it up. I didn't want to pull it out of the drawer and scare the guy that was in the room with me.
Well, this is an interesting question. I want to ask you this. You just left a loaded gun possibly in a drawer where the kid, because there's kids there all the time, yes?
Periodically. I mean, no kids lived at the house. My nieces were not there every single day of the week because they lived in Maine.
Okay. What about any of the other kids, Cameron or anybody?
I don't know what to say on that. I mean, my entire life I've grown up, there are always guns around, but I was well educated on don't mess with them. So we never had gun cases when I was growing up. So it's just nothing out of the ordinary for me. As long as it wasn't laying out in the clear open, I mean, no, I didn't think to do anything like that.
And you didn't tell anybody about that gun? You didn't talk to your dad about it?
No, because I forgot. I completely kind of forgot about it.
You didn't talk to your mother about it?
No, because she wasn't in town.
Well, she was obviously in town at some point.
I remember at that time that might have been where she was gone at least a minimum of a week.
But see, your excuse for not talking to your mom, you acted like, and we've shown.
So we never had gun cases when I was growing up. So it's just nothing out of the ordinary for me. As long as it wasn't laying out in the clear open, I mean, no, I didn't think to do anything like that.
And you didn't tell anybody about that gun? You didn't talk to your dad about it?
No, because I forgot. I completely kind of forgot about it.
You didn't talk to your mother about it?
No, because she wasn't in town.
Well, she was obviously in town at some point.
I remember at that time that might have been where she was gone at least a minimum of a week.
But see, your excuse for not talking to your mom, you acted like, and we've shown it, you call her, you texted her all the time, you went to lunch with her 3 times a week. So you act like you didn't talk to her, but the reality of the situation is you did. So you could have immediately picked up the phone, and maybe at some point after the Hobby Lobby message, like, hey, you want to go to Hobby Lobby? Why is there a gun in the basement? Why didn't you do that?
I mean, I only saw the gun. I mean, I saw the gun and didn't mess with it, so it was just brief. And I ended up finding a remote. And like I said, I did not want to pull the gun out and scare the guy. And you know, my dad was at work and she was gone, and I just had, you know, trying to help the guy out with that. And I just forgot about it and forgot about it for several weeks. It's not. I mean, it's always just been a kind of common for our household to always have firearms in it. It didn't trigger me to be freaking out and asking a whole bunch of questions to everybody. I mean, we had several guns in the household.
Where were other guns in access in the main house?
They were scattered throughout. Some were in closets, some, you know, for instance, in the picture, you can see one hanging above the sliding doors down in the basement.
Obviously, that one was not loaded.
No. I mean, and they were tucked under beds and in closets. So we just, you know, we didn't have a gun safe.
Okay. Do you think that there were a number of guns taken into evidence in this house?
Possibly, if they took shotguns and...
Well, you know, think if you've got them tucked in here and there. I mean, were there lots of guns pulled from this house?
I don't know how many guns were pulled from the house.
I want to talk about your dad's spells. Let's go back and talk about the spells. He would have them how often?
Well, like I said earlier, it varied. He could have one, maybe two a week, or he could go, you know, he could have one and go, you know, a month or two without having one. They were not on a set schedule.
Now, it's something of note that I think you've noted in a previous interview, because you know the three of you were always at Purcell Lane at some point, right?